What's up guys, this is Ronnie. Welcome back to our channel Total Technology. So this is tutorial 2 and today's topic will be mostly on the components of smart contract. What are the like how to deploy smart contract. And before deploy, definitely there is a step for a compilation. Once your smart contracts gets compiled, then what are the different components of smart contracts, how they are actually work internally. We are going to touch base upon all these small pieces, but definitely it is not going to be very hardcore theoretical part. So I'll be going to only give you guys the fundamental like concepts of smart contracts, the different components and how they are actually interconnected. I'll be going to share all these details, need to know basis. And if anyone is interested to know more about this thing, definitely these are very big topics. And whenever there is a new blockchain and something like that comes to the market, these concepts are actually going to be change or evolve. Different things are coming, so this is a very big part for the interest of our course, we are not going to discuss all this theoretical part. But again, I'll be going to give you guys only the fundamental idea of this smart contracts component, how they work actually together, and what are the things you need to know, that will be discussed. Okay, so let me go to the next slide. So that is again smart contract, which I already discussed in the last tutorial. I intentionally actually didn't remove this thing because this is actually makes sense to put this thing here. So whenever someone going to watch this video later, maybe after 1 month, 2 more, or maybe after 1 year, easily he or she can get some reference about smart contracts, because I believe this technology is going to remain for at least for next 10 or 15 years. So hopefully this video will be watched in the future as well. Okay, so components of smart contracts. So let me give you guys the high level pictorial representation of smart contract, then probably we can discuss what actually happened from a remix id. So remix id, just remember this term, we'll explain this thing. Okay, so suppose this is a smart contract. Okay, basically written in a Solidity code. So Solidity code you can think about as a source code file. Okay, so this is gets compiled using Solidity compiler. So when I say Solidity compiler, definitely if you use Java, there will Eclipse, NetBeans or IntelliJ. Okay, so similarly for compiling your Solidity or writing your Solidity code, you need to have an ID. So that is name as remix ID. The name of the ID is remix ID, just like Visual Studio Code or for Python, for PyCharm. Similarly for doing the same thing in Solidity, we have remix ID. Okay, so it's get compiled. Once it is compiled, it is actually going to give you two things. Okay, one is ABI, one is bytecode. So ABI is a application binary interface, just remember this name for the time being, and this is bytecode. So bytecode, I know all of you know, means your source code gets compiled into some sort of machine level code or something like that. Okay, and then this bytecodes get compiled into your gets deployed into your Ethereum blockchain. Okay, so now Solidity code, ABI, bytecode, and this bytecode generally gets gets deployed into your Ethereum blockchain. So now I'll be going to tell you how from the source code you can easily get your bytecode and ABI. So and how to convert this bytecode into opcode. Opcode is kind of a machine understandable instruction. So the EVM is going to perform. Ethereum means Ethereum virtual machine, or maybe your blockchain. Like your blockchain is going to perform something based on the smart contract, and smart contract gets converted into your bytecode. Then bytecode gets converted into opcode. Opcode means some sort of instruction, and it will follow the instruction. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, and ABI is actually works between a bridge between your this blockchain and application. Suppose you have a mobile application and you want to interact your mobile application with the smart contract which is deployed in your blockchain. Okay, so application is not going to directly interact with this thing. Application has to use this ABI. So ABI is going to be kind of work as a bridge between your smart contract and that application. Okay, so for a real world application or outside application, whatever you can say, which is not part of the blockchain, is going to use this ABI to interact with your Ethereum blockchain. So ABI is actually going to work as a bridge between your application or your smart contract deployed in the blockchain. Okay, so let's do a demo using remix ID. Okay, so let me just minimize this thing a bit. Okay, so I'll be not going to cover a separate tutorial for remix id because doesn't make any sense, because all over in the course you always going to use remix id. So for the timing, just remember everything. So remix will be accessible from this url https remix.ethereum.org, and you will get some this sort of interface. Okay, so I'll be going to tell you about all this workspace and other thing in the next tutorial, but for the timing, just see how this work actually. So if you go to this contract, so there are some different contracts are already written. So Solidity files are generally ends with SOL, with the extension of SOL, and this is a contract. Okay, this is a smart contract. Okay, now I'll try to compile this thing, then I will get the ABI and the bytecode. I'll show you guys, then I'll convert the bytecode into opcode, and I'll explain. Okay, and I'll try to deploy this thing as well. Okay, so all these things is going to happen now. So here you have to hit here. Okay, so this is kind of a deploy. Okay, so I'll go and change this thing to injected v3. Okay, you can deploy this in a JavaScript VM. So it is a Ethereum based JavaScript VM. Okay, just forget about that. First we need to deploy. Okay, first we need to compile. Okay, so if you go to your Solidity, you will get something like that, but again I'll explain the next part. Okay, just remember this URL and this thing. This must smart contract. Don't think about this code at this moment. Okay, let me compile this thing now. Okay, if I hit on compile, so it gets compiled. If there is no red, it means everything is fine. For example, if I remove these things, it is showing in this thing. See, the semicolon is missing. Okay, then I put this thing, it is auto compile. Why it is auto compile? I select this thing, that is why. Okay, now let me again compile this thing one more time. Now there is an option called bytecode and ABI. So let me copy this bytecode. Okay, and let me put this to URL etherscan.opcode tool. It will convert your bytecode to opcode. Okay, so I'll put this thing here. Okay, so if you see here, this is your opcode and this is your bytecode. Okay, so bytecodes and opcodes are coming in the similar from here. So now I'll tell you one very interesting thing. Let me just give me one time. Sublime test. Okay, remove this thing. Okay, and let me minimize. So this is your bytecode. Okay, and this is your opcode converted from this bytecode. Okay, so your Ethereum blockchain is going to interpret based on this instruction that is called opcode. Okay, so now I'll convert and show you guys how actually this works. Okay, I'll copy this thing into browser. Okay, just hold on and let me remove everything. It's like this, and I believe this is going to be 0 and some just hold on, I forgot something. There is the bytecode 0 and X will be there. So 0x, don't know, it is 0x and probably yes. So you have to use this thing as a hexadecimal thing, and after that let me decode this thing. Okay, so see, push something came here. All these things are instruction. Okay, based on that something will be followed. Okay, now see the same thing actually here. See, let me just go top. See, push 080, push 40, something like that. M store, call value, dup. All these the single instruction. Okay, and based on that you will get some operations are going to happen. Okay, so if you know more about this instruction, what actually this does, you can search in the Google like opcode instruction manual, something like that, and everything will be mentioned over there. Okay, so now we know what is bytecode, how the bytecode gets converted into opcode. Actually don't need to do anything extra, it actually comes within your bytecode, but just for verification I just showed you guys so that you guys will be clear. Okay, now we'll be talking about this ABI. Okay, let me ABI. So this is the ABI. So ABI means what are the variables or what are the objects are available in the in your contract, that will be mentioned. See, there is something called number, and that is actually unity 256. Definitely it is unsigned integer 256, so that is mentioned. There is some function called store. See, there's a function called store. Okay, non-payable. So all these things will be going to be declared. This is function type function. The output is going to be nothing, because this is going to just change something, not returning something. There is another function retrieve. This is going to return a number. So that will be also going to be yeah, see, it is a retriever function, and this output is going to be this. All these things are available in your ABI. So ABI is going to be whatever you are going to hold in your within your contract. It is actually kind of a JSON representation of this thing. Okay, I believe this is clear now, what is ABI and what is bytecode. But just one more time. So bytecode is actually going to be deployed in your Ethereum blockchain, so that it will do its purpose based on the smart contract developed in Solidity, but it gets converted into bytecode, and then bytecode converts into opcode, and it will do its operation based on the opcode. And this ABI is going to be used whenever someone deployed or someone develops some application and wants to interact with your smart contract. That time it will be used used as a bridge between your application and the smart contract deployed in blockchain. Now the fundamental one more fundamental part, that is how to deploy. So here is something called this thing. If you deploy this thing, you will get something smart contract, and we will going to interact with this thing. Okay, so let me deploy this thing. So see, it is deployed. See, it is deployed. Okay, now interesting thing is that you will get two functions. Okay, store and retrieve. Okay, so as I say, retrieve is going to return the number. Okay, and number is nothing, 0. So if I click this thing, I'll get 0. And suppose if I call this function, see, by without knowing anything, if you know little bit of programming language, any programming language, you say this function does nothing. This function is actually saving a number which is actually getting passed from its parameter. So let's say if I put 10 here, and if I run this function, what will happen? This number will be going to hold this number, and this number is right now 10. So if I just put this thing, so 10 is actually saved here. Means now if I hit this retrieve button here, so it is going to return 10. See, 10. Now if I hit enter 100, so what will happen? This 100 will be again going to this number will be going to have this 100 value, and if I hit here, it will going to show me 100. So first put 100. Okay, so now number is going to hold 100. If I put here, it's 100. So this is how the smart contracts work after deployment. So definitely in the real world scenario, nobody is going to click this thing. So it is going to be work from a like front end. For example, as I told you, you have developed an application, and that application may be a JavaScript application, and JavaScript application is going to interact with this button, and this button is actually internally interact with your smart contract, and that is why we need the ABI. Now you understand why we need ABI. So just to interact with the front end. For example, this is the front end now, and this is your front end JavaScript application button. Okay, so just because we are using Remix ID, Remix is giving us some sort of front end representation or GUI representation of this button, this text box. But if you are not, if you are going to just think about a real world application, there actually you are not going to use this Remix features. You are only going to deploy your bytecode, and after that you have to develop by your own this application interface, this store, this retrieve button, and many more things. And to interact with this button and this thing, you have to use the ABI. So that is why we need an ABI. Okay, so I believe that is clear. And if you want to now the fundamental one more thing, suppose I want to use this in a real world blockchain, in the Ethereum blockchain, definitely it will be a test network. Just forget about everything. So let me select injected web3. So this is a test network. This is my own test network. Okay, not my own test network, this is my own wallet. Okay, and we'll talk about all this thing, and maybe all of you are familiar with this thing because the crypto is booming. Okay, I have given a wrong password. Okay, so this is my wallet. So let's wait. Okay, just deploy one more time. Yeah, so yeah, I have to give some charge, ether charge, and it is going to be deployed, and I'll see this thing from the from this test network, Ropsten Ether test network. So if I hit this thing, it is saying creation of contract is pending. So after that it will be created. Just give me some time, we'll see our contract, and whatever name is given here, storage, the contract will be created with this name only. Okay, I believe so. Okay, so let me just Ropsten etherscan.io. So this is Ropsten etherscan IO test network. Generally if you use any main network, you have to use only etherscan. There you can see all the transaction, but just because I'm using a test network, I can use this thing. And this there are multiple test network. I'm using Ropsten, so that is why I'm just using this thing. Okay, the contract has been deployed. Okay, now what we'll do, no, none of the contract actually deployed. Actually this thing is still showing creation of the storage pending. Okay, just hold on, it will be done soon. Yeah, it is green means it's created. Now what I'll do, I'll just copy the address and I will put it here, and we'll see what is happened actually. See the contract creation done. Okay, so if I click on the contract, so it is what it is saying, contract name storage, and it is coming from this thing. And see, this is my code actually. See, this is the code whatever we written, and this is the application interface ABI. This is the byte code, and this is the opcode. Opcode is not showing here because it's internal, it will get converted. Okay, so this is all. This is very interesting. Whatever contract you created on your machine, you can see. And this is the application, this is a transaction. Definitely when you are going to create something in your blockchain, definitely it will be treated as a transaction. And for everything in Ethereum, you have to pay a gas charge. So that is why some transaction fees are there. So if you are deploying your contract, it is a transaction. If you are doing some action, this is a transaction. Say let's see, I will do something and we'll see the transaction here. Okay, so what I'll do, I will hit this thing. Okay, this orange and this blue color something is different, that we'll be going to discuss in the Solidity programming. Just forget about that thing. So just think about here actually are changing something, like number is 0, and if I run this thing with some number, the number will change. So this is changing something, that is why this color. And here we are not doing any changes, we are just displaying the existing thing. Like existing thing means, suppose I hit this thing with 10, the 10 will remain here, and after that I'm just going to display the 10 actually. So I'm not changing anything, rather than I'm showing the existing thing. That is why it has this color. Just remember this thing, but that is not the exact definition or exact interpretation or explanation. I will try to explain this thing in the later video when you are going to actually start the coding. Okay, so let me put this thing 10. So this is going to be a transaction. So whenever you do some changes in the blockchain means the number is right now, this contract is now deployed in our actual blockchain in test network. So if I change this number, this is a transaction. But if I see this thing from this thing from here, this is not any change, I'm just seeing this thing. So this is not going to change anything, but this is going to change anything. So this is going to be treated as a transaction. So let me hit this thing. So see, transaction is happening, and every time I have to pay some gas fees. See, and this MetaMask wallet is actually used for, all of you, those are actually already in the crypto market. They generally buy, trade or sell crypto using this MetaMask wallet. I'm using the same thing. Okay, so if I confirm this thing, see the transaction is started. So what I'll do now, I'll again go here and I'll try to refresh this page. There will be one more transaction is coming. See one more transaction is pending 7 seconds ago. Okay, so this is cool, right? Whatever you are doing your local machine, and that will can see in your etherscan. You can show your friends, you can show your maybe your colleagues that how cool things you are learning nowadays. Okay, so let me refresh this thing. Hopefully it is done now. So it is done. So if you click this thing, see what is happened. So you have given this thing, that thing, state, those things are coming. Okay, this is cool, right? Okay, fine. And this is my address, this is also coming. See, and just to verify this thing, so this is the address. See, it's in with 49945 and starting with 0v56. And if I go here and if I click this thing, and let's just paste this thing here, see 49945 start with 056, right? See how cool this is. So you are doing something on your local, and after that we deployed our contract in your ethereum actual blockchain. Actual means it is definitely an actual blockchain, but this is using for testing purpose. So for example, I have metamask wallet for this doing transactions. See, I am having 15 ether. So 15 ethers mean you guys thinking I'm very rich. No, nothing like that. 15 ether means 60,000 US dollars. So nothing like that. This all these things are test ether. I'm doing this for testing purpose. I'll also tell you guys how to get this test ether. Without this test ether, you will not be able to do your deployment or any transaction or practice, because every time you are going to interact with ethereum blockchains for doing some transaction, they will ask you for some sort of gas fees. Okay, so that is why this is okay, cool. So I believe all objectives of today's course has been done. So the summary, we know what is smart contract. Smart contract is a actually a digital what do you say, the digital distributed ledger. Okay, and then immutable, then it is a kind of application binary interface. So it is going to be act as a bridge between your application and smart contract deployed in your blockchain. Bytecode is actually gets converted after compilation as a machine readable instruction. Okay, machine readable set of instruction. And ethereum blockchain, you all know, it's what do you say, it's a decentralized blockchain which gives smart contract facilities. Okay, that's it. Lot of things from the theoretical point of view. I believe we are good to go, and from next tutorial onwards I'll be not going to touch base upon on definitely I have to do some theoretical, but not majorly on theoretical. It will be completely from remix side. We'll be going to start writing our first code. Okay, so I'm super excited, hope you guys are super excited. Please stay tuned for the next tutorial, which is tutorial 3. I'll be going to upload a new video very soon, maybe today or tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see you there. Okay, but before I close this tutorial, guys, please share some feedback and what do you think are I can do in a better way, so that everybody will be benefited. If you have any topics or use cases in your mind, just please share with me. We'll try to incorporate all these things and also provide some positive like feedback which I can use in this course to make it more student friendly. Okay, because I also learned this smart contract thing 6-7 months ago, so I am also very new, and I thought of sharing the knowledge, because market is going to be going towards smart contract in upcoming future. So if you know Solidity, you will be definitely at the highest tier within a few years. So just like Python, when Python came, nobody actually was using that time, maybe 12-13 years ago. Now everything is on Python. Okay, but I'm not saying Python is the best, but it's a utility language. Same thing will be happen with the Solidity, because everything is going to be in smart contract kind of a what do you say, smart contract based architecture. So in starting from banking, financial sector, supply chain, logistics, vendor management, everything. So definitely if you know Solidity, they will definitely give you the first preference. I'm not saying from the job point of view, maybe many of you are already doing your freelancing, maybe all of you are having startups. So smart companies are also going to be hire resources on Solidity developer or blockchain developer. So definitely it is going to be a very fun thing and good thing to learn, and it's exciting thing. Okay, this is not like usual our coding. Okay, definitely it will be coding, but again something new, right? I'm excited, hopefully you guys will also get excited. So enough of talking, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care, goodbye, and have a nice day. Happy learning.